division of the Chrysler Corporation.
Well, the Bruins lead the Buffalo Sabres 4-2 at the end of one. Over in the Patrick division, the Caps and the Islanders, and the Capitals won the first game of this series 3-1, and since then it's been the Islanders prevailing in a couple of overtime thrillers. It's a tight one again. Mike Ridley winning the faceoff. Peter Bondra sends it back. Al Iafrate unleashes a tremendous blast, which goes in cleanly, and the Caps lead it 1-0. Rick Tabaracci has had help from the posts a couple of times, but this time he just stones Ray Ferraro. Ferraro beats the stick, but not the foot, and former teammate Todd Krieger cleans the crease up. So it's 1-0. The Caps leading the Isles in the first intermission. If you're going to go to overtime, it's not a good idea to do it against the Islanders. They have the best playoff overtime winning percentage in NHL history. So the only goal of this game so far coming off the faceoff, Bill Clement, as a former faceoff man, you're aware of just how important these are in the playoffs.
Huge in the playoffs. A lot of pressure for the guys out there. To me, it was always an advantage to know what the other guy was going to do. And Tom Fitzgerald of the New York Islanders took the faceoff that led to the Capitals' goal. And really, he knew what Mike Ridley wanted to do. He wanted to get it over to the sideboard. So here are Fitzgerald's options. He can take the blade of his stick and chop down right here on Ridley's stick to try to stop him from winning it cleanly. His other option, and this is the option that Tom Fitzgerald chose, was to get the tip of his blade into this area, to race for the puck, and to win it cleanly. Watch what happens. So he goes for broke, basically, on this one. Puck is dropped. Ridley gets it over the boards. Now, he just wanted to get Peter Bondra in a battle with Baskey to get it up for grabs. They've got the big cannon back on the blue line, Al Iafrate, and that's the way it goes. To me, the attitude when you're in the defensive zone is stop the other guy from doing what he wants to do. That's your priority. If you try to win it cleanly, you're either going to win it cleanly or lose it cleanly, and that's what happened to Tom Fitzgerald.
Al Morganti, the Caps-Isles series, you've been keeping pretty close tabs on this one.
Well, one of maybe the only advantage right now, Washington has the power play, and they used it again tonight. To kind of counter that, the Islanders have put Tom Kerbers in their lineup. They have no power play goals. The only team in the playoffs right now without a power play goal. Washington got their fifth tonight. So they're going to try to get an advantage there. Darius Kasparaitis took a bad penalty to lead to that power play goal. That's the one thing the area the Islanders think they can upgrade to maybe avoid overtime for a change and win this thing in regulation.
Yeah, well, should they go to OT, and should even the Montreal-Quebec game go to overtime, we will switch live to those games for the extra periods, and we will stay with them for the duration, so it may be a long night ahead of us, gentlemen. Don't forget, coming up on ESPN, National Hockey Night comes your way on Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, as red-hot Steve Yzerman and the Red Wings try to advance their 2-2 lead against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Some furious action going on with the Isles and the Caps. Sylvain Cote goes behind the goal line in deep, wheels it across. Kelly Miller finds Mike Ridley in front, and he scores. And just a short time later, Al Iafrate with the blast from up top. And Dennis Vaskey knocks over his own goalie. It's 3-0. Tom?
You know, Jack, home ice meant absolutely nothing between those two in the regular season. The road team won every game. And here it looks like they're about ready to split 2-2. I don't know why they just don't go to Game 7 and get rid of the preliminaries.
Playing on neutral ice.
That's right. Let's go to Jack Edwards in the studio.
All right, Tom Mees, the Washington Caps looking to increase their lead on the Islanders in the second period. Todd Krieger thinks he has a goal, but no, Kelly Miller was in the crease, and the goal is waved off, and Krieger isn't too happy about it. 3-1 there, Caps lead.
Yeah, I'd say Todd Krieger has a reason to be unhappy.
Well, there's nothing like scoring a playoff goal. It's something you remember forever. If you've got time, I can tell you about both of mine.
Let's move right along.
The National Hockey League, Quebec and Montreal have really opened it up, and the Caps are getting pretty physical with the Isles. We've got highlights and scores of those games coming your way as National Hockey Night continues. It's 5-3 at the odd between the Bruins and the Sabres. Stay with us. Welcome back to National Hockey Night, everybody. I'm Jack Edwards, and between the second and third periods, the Boston Bruins have a 5-3 lead on the Buffalo Sabres. The Bruins down 3-0 and fighting for their playoff lives tonight. Over in the Patrick division, the Washington Capitals were able to win 3-1 in their first game against the Islanders, and then the Isles won a couple of OT contests. Would the Capitals change anything for Game 4? Al Iafrate comes out, ready for action. And in the first period, Peter Bondra gets it back to him at the point of drive, scores, and it's 1-0. Still in the first period, Ray Ferraro crashing the goal. Rick Tabaracci makes the save as Todd Krieger cleans him out. Kevin Hatcher and Derek King, a little extra stuff there. Second period, still 1-0. Mike Ridley pops it home, and the Caps are up 2-0. Al Iafrate with another blast, and that makes it 3-0. Al Arbour a little bit concerned, and he ought to be. Vladimir Malakoff gets one back for the Isles. Todd Krieger putting in a bid, but Kelly Miller, they say, was in the crease, and that goal is disallowed. He's kind of angry about that. But if he was angry about this, he might have been even a little more angry when this event occurs. Glenn Healy just stones him with the glove. Second intermission on the island, and it is a 3-1 lead for the Capitals. Joining me once again, Bill Clement, Al Morganti, and the Capitals have capitalized on the man advantage in this series. 6 power play goals through almost 4 games, not even.
Well, Jack, they've also gotten their defensemen involved. When you've got a group of defensemen that score almost 100 goals during the regular season, you're going to need them to produce in the playoffs. Al Iafrate has 2 in this game so far, but there was a guy named Sylvain Cote that made a bad read in overtime the other night for the Washington Caps. It cost the Washington Capitals the game, but in this game, this time of year, you got to put those bad decisions in the back of your mind and make good ones. Here he goes, forechecking on the power play. He can do that because they got the extra attacker. What does he want to do here? He wants to bang Malakoff off the puck. Cut to the wide shot. Here's this play happening in the corner, and he executes it perfectly. Once he gets Malakoff off the puck, he just wants to get it behind Glenn Healy because he knows he's got a guy over there, and this is a set play. He works it perfectly. Islanders got a problem here. You see 2 Islanders and 2 Caps. Mike Ridley is the guy that's closest to the front of the net. He makes a beeline for the front. Kelly Miller to Ridley. Boy, that's a combination that goes back a few years with Washington. So it's those types of good reads that Sylvain Cote has been making tonight, plus Iafrate's goals that has the Caps on top.
So the Washington Capitals are taking aim at the net, not only with their shots, but also, Al, with their bodies, it would seem.
Oh, obviously a game plan. They have going right at the net, unlike, during the regular season, there was an effort, that little blue area, the semicircle in front of the net. Well, everybody goes colorblind in the playoffs. The referees, the players, everybody's in there. However, tonight, the Caps have paid off a couple of times. The goal that was called off came after Glenn Healy complained vehemently earlier to Terry Gregson. So now they're watching because now the Islanders are going at Tabarachi. It's become a little one-upsmanship, so we'll have to stay away from that crease a little bit. But crashing the crease certainly paid off early for the Caps tonight.
All right, well, the Caps with a 2-goal lead after 2 periods. It's a pretty exciting game up in Montreal as the Canadiens have decided they're going to skate with the Nordiques and trade there. We've got highlights in that score coming up for you in just a moment. And don't forget that National Hockey Night. All right, Tom Mees, also exciting stuff down on the island as Travis Green tips in the Claude Loisel pass to cut it to 3-2. And only a minute 20 later, Uwe Krupp throws the puck on goal. Pat Flatley is there for the rebound. It's 3-3. They go into OT again.
Why not? There's nothing to choose between those teams. I tell you, I don't know why they just don't play the 7th game again.
5-5 at the odd, and the Islanders and Capitals, who have a penchant for going to overtime. Well, it was a 2-goal lead for Washington going into the 3rd period down at Nassau Coliseum. Let's take a look at how the final 20 minutes of that game went. The Islanders coming back with Claude Loisel centering it. Travis Green tips it past Rick Tabarachi, and it's 3-2. And Uwe Krupp from the point. His drive gets knocked down in front, but Pat Flatley is there for the rebound. Fires it home. It's 3-3, and for the 3rd consecutive game, those teams are going to overtime. Of course, the Islanders lead the series 2-1. If you're wondering if a series has ever gone to overtime for 3 consecutive games, yeah, it has. 1991, the LA Kings against Edmonton did it. That's where the Islanders and Caps are headed tonight. Montreal and Quebec.
Into the crowd. Let's take a breather and join Jack Edwards.
In sudden death on the island, the Isles spring Benoit Hode. He's in alone, tries to go 5-hole, but Rick Tabarachi denies him. They continue, and we do in Buffalo.
Thank you, Jack.